Alright, so let's give this a go. See what it tastes like. See if it's any good. Looks good. Mmm. Oh, that's delicious. That's amazing.
The decision has been made. Today we're eating Salisbury steak. Into a bowl, throw in 500 grams of 85% lean ground beef. Then throw in half a teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper. I just go for the powdered stuff. And we also need a pinch of cayenne. That's what I'd call a pinch. So I'll throw that in there, okay? The next thing we need is a 1 teaspoon of dry mustard. I don't have dry mustard, so this is gonna have to do. Ooh, it's been a while. Okay, so 2 tablespoons of ketchup. Just last in there. Oh, needs more fiber. Okay, 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. This is the one that's gonna take a while. That's probably a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. A teaspoon of soy sauce. So, just, yeah, a smidge. A large egg beaten. Okay. The egg didn't do what it was told when it was told. There we go. Sorry about the noise. And then we got the cayenne pepper already. And then we need a pile of breadcrumbs. This is not cheaping out. This adds texture and retains fat. It isn't cheaping out. A lot of people seem to think that breadcrumbs are like, oh, you're being cheap. No, it's about texture. It's about retention of fat. Okay, so now I just have to give this a good mix. Okay, so how do you give this a good mix? It's simple. Just use a fork, okay? Just use a fork. Don't need to get your hands filthy. You know, Gordon Ramsay. You know, the professional cook or chef, whatever. Okay. We'll have a few things on around the edges, but don't worry about it. We're just getting those flavors in there, okay? We want to make sure that all of the mince, because it's kind of packed together, right? You can see there's parts of it that aren't open to the soy sauce and the Worcestershire sauce and the mustard, the cayenne and the pepper. But I reckon that's a reasonable mixture right there. Done. Yeah, okay. Maybe we'll mix it a little bit more. It needs to be really well mixed. And I'm still seeing some breadcrumbs. So, until identifiable ingredients are cleaned up, you need to keep going, right? So basically, run your fork through it. If you see anything, work it in a bit more, okay? Alright. Yeah, that kind of looks okay to me. Time! We're done. Alright, cool. So cover this thing in cling film or plastic wrap. That's probably the hardest thing about doing this dish, okay? Actually, you know what? Instead of trying to attach it to the lid, get it down onto the meat. Okay. That goes in the fridge. Okay, so you need 12 large white button mushrooms sliced. Which, that approximately comes in at half a kilo of white button mushrooms, okay? I'm gonna chop these up now. Thinking to myself, you probably want to see what a mushroom looks like when it's being cut. So let's just do that, okay? Any visible dirt, brush it off. Don't need to wash mushrooms, okay? This is clean. Pop the base. Slice, 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 and slice. Done. Throw it in your bowl. After about 5 minutes of menial labour, that's what you get. 500 grams of sliced onions. Mushrooms. Now we need half of a large white onion. So just split it down the middle like that. Okay. Cut the root off, or not the root, but the top. Give yourself half a chance. Get the skin off this thing. It's a bit soft. Glad I took it off. Okay. Now, we want diced. So let's just go down like that, okay? That's kind of slimy. There we go. The little membrane is slippy. Okay, boom. Okay. Are we recording? We are. Okay. You won't cry as much. You know, lacrimators inside the onion won't get you so much if you use a good sharp knife. And take that out, take the root out, okay? And then just dispose of the rest of it. Okay, so here you can see what 50 grams looks like. So just eyeball it, okay? Close enough. Okay, so, and now we're going to melt the butter. This is your butter, okay? You just cut that off. Let's go. Boom. Just get the edge of that as well. Got it all. So let your butter melt, okay? It'll do that quite quickly, as you can see. Maybe that pan's a little bit too hot. Just going to move it around. It's a non-stick pan. Here goes the mushrooms. Okay, beautiful. And we also need to put in the onions. Yeah. There we go. And then we put in a pinch of salt. Now we give that a stir. Forgot to say, you want to turn your heat up to maybe an 8 because there's an awful lot of water in these mushrooms. It's going to take a while to bring it down. And just to get those mushrooms up to a point where they're releasing their water requires quite a bit of energy. So pat them down, I suppose. Leave them for 2 minutes. Okay, so this is after a minute. Let's have a look underneath it. Yeah, you see, not much is happening. It takes a while to get this to work, okay? It'll shrink down to nothing. There's enough here to feed 3 people. Okay. Let's go back to it in a few minutes. Yeah, as you can see, the overhead shot is ruined. This little camera, it's a little white camera from Sony. It has a tendency to overheat. So I was kind of hoping it would heat the lens, but it doesn't seem to work that way. Yeah, there's a nice smell coming off this now. And if we flip them over, we might see some brown. Yeah, there you go. Now we're seeing the first of the brown. There we go. Let's get these things. Okay, so you gotta be careful at this point. If it's gone quiet, it has nothing to boil away anymore. If you look underneath, you'll see brown. Lots of nice brown. So keep stirring. So everything gets a nice bit of brown on, okay? So now I've reduced the heat to medium and I'm adding it, throwing in the flour. Can anybody tell me why we add the flour in now? Not earlier and not later? Answers on a postcard, like any of you might know. Okay, so let's throw in some ketchup. It calls for 2 tablespoons ketchup. Boom. And boom. Okay. And we want 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. That's probably about right. And then we throw in the beef broth as well. Which, if memory serves, is about 700. Okay. Make sure there's nothing at the bottom, okay? Worcestershire. Worcestershire? Yeah, fair enough. There we go. Let that simmer for a while now, okay? We're going to reduce the heat to medium. So I'm bringing it down to maybe 3. And we're going to have to cook this until the gravy thickens and reduces. This could take about 10 minutes. Okay, so she's at a boil. I bring it down to a simmer. I brought it down to 2. Alright, let's see if this is thickened slightly. And it has. Okay, let's get this into a bowl. Or a big kind of container. Let's see if I can find one. Yeah, here we go. I used to use this for juicing and stuff. Pour that in there. Do it in a kind of confident manner, otherwise it'll catch on the edges and it'll go everywhere. Maybe I should have done that with the opposing camera. Okay. Cool. Alright, so get your 2 tablespoons of butter. Mash. Throw it in there and it'll start to melt, okay? Action cam. You can see we have all our butter over here. Beautiful. And now we're going to start to pick these bad boys up. Put them in. Okay. Push them down a little bit. We do want them flat against the heat. We're not barbecuing burgers or anything like that. We do want brown. Let's bring the heat up. We'll turn the pan back on again. Get it up to a 9 and we get some sizzle on it. Coming up to temperature. Let's get a bit of salt in there as well. Okay. If you listen carefully, you can hear it starting to simmer, or getting the brown on there. Listen to the pan. See what it tells you. Jesus Christ, the soda stream ball just exploded in my mouth. Okay, we're at 3 minutes in now on full power. This thing has beeped and turned itself off. Let's get underneath these and see what's happening. Even though it's non-stick, you can see. So let's get it over. Oh, look at that! Beautiful. All right, that's all browning. Maybe a little bit too much, but let's see. Yeah, that's brilliant. We're now setting a 3-minute timer on number 7 out of 9, okay? Just get the bottom brown as well. Let me clean up the mess with the soda stream exploded. Okay, so we're about done here. It's at this point that we pour in the gravy. Isn't that lovely? Doesn't that sound great? I'm just going to leave that. It'd be kind of nice if those Salisbury steaks were being covered with gravy, wouldn't it? Whatever. Delicious. Enjoy this food while you can, guys. Everybody's talking about food shortages. This won't be available. This might not be available wherever you are in a few months' time. So I'm going to let this, I'm after pouring in the gravy, so I'm going to bring it to a simmer again. I've already done that. Then we're just going to reduce the heat down to 1 or 2 and just leave that for about 5 minutes, okay? So I'm setting a timer, back in 5 minutes. Okay, so this has been going on now for a few minutes, simmering. As you can see, everything's nice and thick. That's your Salisbury steak done. Okay, so let's get this out.